So I'll start with congratulating IMS community for hosting this great event on a topic of much relevance in current time. Dr. Manju is not here, so my warm regards and congratulations to her for being a leader who is preparing and taking up topics that are forward-looking and being the torchbearer in making IMS as an institute of knowledge excellence and then driving it to the length and breadth of the country. So thank you, Dr. Manju. Professor Umberto Salpaso, the propounder of the idea of GKDP, the eminent speakers and distinguished guests. It's an honor and high privilege to be sharing the dice with you all. I am not an economist, nor an academician, but a banker. So, with my limited exposure, I'll be taking up the topic of how we can give the execution impetus to the GDKP project. As per the recent data, India is home to 88 unicorns, the startups that has reached a valuation of 1 billion and above. And at 4th spot in the world. It is heartening to know that this count used to be just 21 3 years back. So we have seen and witnessed an exponential growth over last few years. Yesterday, our goods and merchandise exports crossed a whopping $400 billion mark. So what we are seeing is a surge of digital transactions in the country, which has seen a percentage increase of 53% last year. During the pandemic time, there were proactive measures by the government wherein we have seen a lot of enablers coming to the country. The government has given the RTG facility operational 365 days, 24/7. There were other initiatives like the National Automated Clearing House and Bharat Bill Payment. So all these helped and aided in enabling settlements even on the weekends. I was seeing an NPCI data, and what I realized is the UPI payments have surpassed the overall cumulative value of the transactions by Visa and MasterCards. So now these big associations are facing an existential threat from the big tech companies and alternate payment solutions in the country. So India is poised to be one of the largest and fastest growing digital economy in the world. A lot has changed after the COVID, and post-COVID era, we have witnessed an advent of technology which has transformed businesses and brought more transparency. Today, with accelerated growth in information technology, we are seeing electronic delivery of public services. New world of financial services has emerged, and there is increased usage of online payments and platforms for education, consumption, and payments. So I think all of this and many other such news is a result of the significance given by the government on capitalizing on knowledge wealth of the country, and government's drive and emphasis on programs like Atmanirbhar Bharat. In that context, I think GDKP has a strong relevance, especially in current times, as it offers an opportunity for countries like us to not only optimize the inherent strength of the culture, but our knowledge wealth, and lead the world in the 21st century. As far as the 4 pillars of GDKP are concerned, as stated in the draft by Professor Umberto Salpaso, the first 2 I see, the knowledge items and the country's knowledge producing metrics, like Dr. Manju specified, we are good and abundant in it. So it's already there. So the other two pillars, that is the country knowledge user metrics and the cost of learning, these are the 2 areas where we need execution impetus and more focused approach to come up and improve. What I see is that we have enough of all the things. And now is the time for head-down execution. Because we understand the relevance, we understand the context, we understand the utility, and we understand in next 2 decades to come what impact the knowledge factor will have in the growth of the economies. It is really difficult to quantify knowledge into workable data or numbers, but would suggest if we make some kind of a multi-plug extension which has various sockets into it, and to each socket we can then plug in a specific attribute of GDKP. Now each attribute is then connected to various data source. So what I am saying here is a multi-layer capability can be built for collecting information. Now the data that is collected and the information, if we can make an orchestration layer over it, it will help us define and put a meaning to the data that we have got, and will help us to make it easy to assimilate. I think my friend and fellow speaker, Mr. Manish, highlighted on this, and he was talking about the AI and ML, and Mr. Rajput spoke about it. So now the current times, this is the need of the hour. We have to, and it plays a very vital role in making and creating such kind of infrastructure and system. Maybe then if such a system is made, we'll be able to ascertain which data point or attribute pertaining to GDKP needs more attention of the government, which are the areas where we can allocate more funds, which are the areas where more engagement of resources is required at the ground. And also we can know how we fare vis-a-vis the economies of the world. What such kind of a system will do is, it will help to create and make the individual sector USPs of various states of the country or the regions and make it a national USP. So we know, and it is a known fact, that effective monitoring and evaluation is the underpin for the planning cycle, and it is an important aspect. So there has been movement, there has been progress in terms of data simulation, but now is the time that we need to expedite it and give it a measurable structure. So that will be it from my side. Thank you once again. It's a pleasure being here.